Hey everyone, I'm back. I'm just going to give a real quick little mini explanatory tutorial on the folding and the matching up of the papers. And I'm just going to do this without any embellishments or anything. The most important thing is the pages need to be they need to be 10 inches. Now, for instance, this page is a little bit over 10 inches, so I'm just going to cut it down to get it to be 10 inches. And that's, in order to do your 6'4", 6'4", it's got to be 10 inches because that's how the measurements work out. So the first page in your book has to have a wide 6-inch cover size fold on the front. So that's important so you can put the cardboard cover on top of it. So I'm going to score this one at 6 and I'm going to fold it. And just excuse my paper, I just pulled a bunch of old paper and copied on top of it. So I'm going to put this one in. This page is a little bit long too. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to cut it off as well. And I think for the other pages, they're all probably just this little teeny 1/4 of an inch bit longer. I'm going to just trim it after I do the gluing. So you score this one at 4. And you fold it. And then just so you'll know, I'm folding it right here on my fold. Now I'm going to just show you briefly what you're looking for. So here you've got your first page and here you've got your second page. The important thing is to buddy them up on the 4 fold like this. And so you get that match right there and put it aside. And what you can do is you can go through and score all of your papers. Here's a 6 and we're going to fold it. And here's a 4. And we're going to fold it. And then we're going to take those that just got folded. And even though what I usually do when I make mine is I build up, because the 2 4s have to be glued together and the 2 6s have to be glued together. But right now we're going to just do the buddy system, and the first 2 go together and the second 2 go together. And then I only made 6 pages. And that's another thing I forgot to say in my original video. You can make this with 4 pages, 6 pages, 10 pages, 12 pages. And I've always wanted to see if I could cram as many as 20 pages in. So that might be something fun somebody might want to try. So here's a 6. And here is Mr. Darcy. I've used the pages from my old Jane Austen journal. And he's a 4. No, he's a 10. He's a 10. He's not a 4. Okay, so I'm going to put him and this lady together. And so here's all the pages of my book. And just to go over them, let's see. So it's going to open like this. These 2 4s are going to go together. This 6 is going to go to that 6 and so forth. Now I'm going to just glue them so you can see. So these 2 4s are going to go together. I'm going to just glue down this edge on page 2, or you could glue on page 1. I'm going to place page 1 on top of this one. I'm going to match them up, and you can see I'm going to need to trim a little on this one. Okay, so I've got that one put together. And then I'm going to trim it so it doesn't get wonky. Just trim the bottom up. And part of this whole process is the trimming process. Okay, now I'm going to take my next page that's a 6 and I'm going to glue it to the back of what's technically a 4. So I'm just going to say, to get it to make a spine, you have to glue them, and I'm just going to do a quick glue job here, folks. I'm not going to do my rubber cementy thing. So you match those up like that so that you start forming your little spine. Match it all up like that. And now here's a 4. This one scored on 4. And I'm going to match it up with this one. So I'm going to, once again, glue down the side. And like I said, you don't have to make pockets. You can glue it all shut. Just glue it so it's all closed up. But make sure, the most important thing is to make sure the spine does all line up. Okay, so there's that. We're gonna trim that. Gonna trim it off, because obviously some of these pages, I printed on old pages and they may have been trimmed already when I printed on them, and that's why the bottoms aren't matching up. Okay, so there we've got so far this page, that page, this page, that page, and there does need to be trimming done. And then here's a page 6, a 6 fold going against another 6 fold, because the 6 folds actually provide the strength to hold the whole thing together, and they actually create the spine. So I'm going to put that on top of there like that. Once again, I'm going to do some trimming just so when we get done with this whole thing, you can see. My other papers, my Jane Eyre papers, I sort of made them precisely with this journal in mind, so they were more even than these papers. Okay, I'm gonna trim that off right there like that. All right, and then we come to our last pages. And the last page, as I said, it needs to end in a 6. It has to be an even number of papers. It has to end in a 6 so that you can form the back for your cover. And just ignore all the upside down things. Like I said, I printed on old papers that I had laying around that I never did anything with. So there's the last 4 that goes together. I'm gonna match it up with the spine. And like I said, the reason I use the tacky glue is it doesn't dry right away, so I'm able to manipulate it pretty easily. That's kind of important too, the manipulating part. So here we go. I'm gonna, once again, I'm gonna frame it. Oops, there goes my little Tim Holtz brush down onto the floor. Because I did not clean up my area. I just went like this. Cleared a space to try this out for you guys. All right, and then I'm going to, there we go, just trim it up. Just go along, trimming, trimming, trimming. So here we go. One more little trim job needs to be done right down here. I'm gonna trim off Mr. Darcy. Don't you love that Mr. Darcy? I love him. He's like one of my favorite things. Okay, so here you go. I generally wouldn't put her next to her, but I did for purposes of, example. So here you go. That's how it goes together. Like I said, you do not have to. I'm going to trim this one because I see that it's a little bit bigger. Okay, so you can see that it goes like this. You don't have to make pockets. And that, I hope that is clearer on how the folding process goes together. So the key is you fold your 6, you fold your 4, the 4s go together, 4s go together, and then 6s go to the back that's 6 inches of a 4 fold. But the key is, and I think the way it'll be easily sorted is if you remember, the 4s go together, wrong sides together. Like if you're making a dress, wrong sides together, and then the 6s go on to the 6 size papers that you only have to have an even amount of papers. That's very crucial, even amount of papers. And the next crucial part is trim. But the other important thing is to do it exactly like I've just done it, is the paper has to start out 10 inches wide. 10 inches wide. these are about 8 inches. I think they're 8.25 inches long because, like I said, I used old paper. But 10 inches wide is the crucial thing. Now, I would rather imagine that if we have got something that is wider, like say 11 inches, you're going to have to do maybe 4.5 and 6.5. So you're going to have to increase your fold, and you can just play with it to match up and then put it on a ruler to see what your actual fold needs to be for a larger piece of paper. But for the journals I always made, I always cut them down to 10 inches and did the 4, 6, 4, 6. I hope that clarifies things. I did have some questions and I got to thinking about it, and I thought I need to definitely just show this part of the process. So I hope you all have a lovely day. It's Sunday, and I hope this helps. And if you make this journal, wow, just, tag me or on Instagram, show me what you've made. I'm dying to see all the different amazing variations. Okay, thank you, ladies. Bye-bye.